Okay, so we had confirmed the connectivity by my devices ADSA after we had configured my VLANs by layer 3 switch radio. We had configured my native trunking, including native VLAN trunking as well. We had also configured inter-VLAN routing by router radio, and I think everything is now proper. Let me just double check. Most importantly, access ku wireless LAN controller yedu. It's very important. Kana usina connectivity, it means it won't be possible to access the controller via the GUI. So connectivity kana yapo, how do we then access GUI yedu? We go via the web. Apa panoda ma-PC anodhonza manje. Kana takuenda web browser for I'm not so sure what reasons. Web browser inotinetsei. Right. Initial connection to device yako. You can use HTTP, initial connection to this device. You see patinozoita my connections and my configurations will be using HTTPS. So for initial configurations, 168.200.254, that is HTTP. Hopefully we get access. I don't bet my phone is my controller one. Let me see. So whilst we're waiting for controller redo, I think it's very important that I repeat. Wireless LAN, for every wireless LAN or attack created by controller, there should be a VLAN which is associated to that wireless LAN. Advantages that come with having different VLANs are the same advantages, are the same reasons, advantages for the reasons why True could associate every wireless LAN to a VLAN. So partienda pa wireless LAN controller redu, one of the things yatiete create my interfaces. My interfaces wayo they'll be associated with my wireless LANs edu, wireless LAN traffic edu. In this exercise, we're only going to create one interface, which is going to carry traffic in wireless LAN 5, which is associated to VLAN number 5. To create a wireless LAN, for example, let's say wireless LAN 10 is associated to VLAN number 10. We're going to create another interface as well, which we're going to associate with VLAN number 10. Right, there we go. So, in summary, different wireless lines, different VLANs, different interfaces. Right. So, this is access yatawana ye wireless LAN controller. It took us some time. Admin, let's say if admin is our admin, then our password is admin as well. Admin 123. So my initial configurations can on white access to controller yakho. Controller to Shandisa is a 3.5 series wireless LAN controller. I must put emphasis but the same thing you are seeing pan up at this point is the same thing you will be seeing if you access a 3.5 series wireless LAN controller. Apanje kasiyan. System name, let's just put this wireless LAN controller 05. Right, we're not going to change time. Unfortunately, I'm banana Zimbabwe. I don't think banana Zimbabwe. Okay, I cannot even change United States. Hapana Zimbabwe, time zone, hapana Harare. Management IP address. All right, so initial setup here, wireless LAN controller yedu. Management IP is 200.254. So Nyora. Right, 192.168.200.254. 255.255.255.0. Our gateway 192.168.200.1. Then let's leave our management VLAN ID yakadaro. It's 0. Then next, we go and create a employee network. Let's call it employee. Let's call it management. For my initial, it will force you to create at least one network. So I'm going to create network as management here. Then it is going to be using security as WPA2. That is for encryption. Then for authentication in a passphrase, let's use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think we need to be doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is just initial setup, your device. Next, I think we are done. Next. Panapa, I've realized but very tricky. If you don't stop soon as you go next, it will be very difficult for you to access controller the second time. So after initial setup, next, you apply my settings arco. Soon as you apply, the system will reboot after the settings are applied. Then this might take a few minutes. You will not to stop. Then over to HTTPS or who access the controller again after the initial settings. Okay, this might take a few minutes. I've realized no networks on access. Possibly it's because of, I think, processing power my PCs here doing it that way. Right. You don't know what I'm going. Request timeout. Let me see. If it goes request timeout, I'm going to check connectivity first. Gonna connectivity pasisina. Right, connectivity report. Oh, thank God for that. If the connectivity is there, it means we can access controller radio. So, kana muri kuona zvaitika apa, the first initial setup for controller radio tashandisa HTTP. There's a difference between HTTP and HTTPS. First one tashandisa HTTP, but for this one, we're going to be using HTTPS. Ukashandisa HTTP again, you won't be able to get access to the controller. 200, 254. I hope we get there. All right, thank you very much. Right. Apa patakuchipinda mu controller redu. We log in using admin, yet a creator for initial setup, or password admin 1, 2, 3. You log in. Might take some few seconds. Could it shike? I recommend you play around with my device's eye so that you get that little exposure, that little practical. You can see Vapadatanga tatoona about my wireless, my VLANs, tatangira kuma VLANs. Tatoeta configuration in my devices, basic configuration in my devices, with my IP address, with my sub interfaces, my inter VLAN. It means you gatanga something on your own. You'll be able to incorporate all the knowledge you always yes. Tatombenga my problems in trunking, trunking. Although we found a way around it, we can set a practice on that. You won't be able to find ways around that. Right. Now, tapina access controller redo. I'm going to be focusing on number 1. Let's create an interface. So in summary, zvatishada create my interfaces. My interfaces are associated with wireless LAN traffic. So for every interface, it will be associated with wireless LAN traffic yayo. It will be associated with VLAN yayo as well. So it means we're also going to create my VLANs that I create out there to associate with my wireless LANs. Right. Let's start with controller, my interfaces. Well, let me start with DHCP. Let me demonstrate pure wireless LAN controller. Let's start with the internal DHCP server, DHCP scope. So scope, yeah, internal server wireless LAN controller. Tataura kuti it will be used kupa IP addresses dynamically ku-admin, ma-devices e-admin yedu. So I'm going to change that scope ndoisa mu-network yatiri kushandisa, which is 192.168.200, right? So I'm going to change the network. Where is it? I'm going to change the network panel. Ndoisa 200 because ndo network yatiri kushandisa. Tobvisa default yanga iripo. Zero wangu waita siya 200. Then pool address ndoitangira pa 200. Let's start it pa 100 kusvika pa 200. Excuse me. Let's give it kusvika pa 200. Pana address yapiwa 200 there. I don't think so. Well, let's start. Let's give it Malik. Let's start pa 10. Ispera pa 50. Right? Mask yedu is to 0. Again, who panapa, it will be used for my management devices. Right? Default router is 200.1 again. Right? What else? DNS server. On a DNS server for now. Status enabled. Right? Let's apply this. Let's apply this. Right. So what I'm going to do now, ndakuenda ku admin PC yedu. Ndonoisa IP configuration kuite ite dynamic. And we're going to see if PC yedu ichikwanisa kuassign IP address no wireless LAN controller. The IP address should be between 10 and 50. Let's go back. All right. IP configuration. Panapa ingeri static. Ile do 200. Let me see guys a dynamic. Exactly. There's a dynamic, you can see it has changed to 192.168.200.10 because it's now getting its IP address from the wireless LAN controller. You see as well, ndikauya pa access point rangu. Let me just confirm that. Ndikauya pa access point rangu. Is this on now? Yes. Ndikauya pa access point rangu, config. Right. Primary controller, ndoipa IP address. You have to tell access point rako kuti ma configurations or controller riri pa IP address ipi. Starting point 200.254. Ukasarudza, then you don't be able to get, for example, an IP address because asikuziva kuti controller riri papi. So that's the first thing. Taisa, then toenda pa interface redu. Interface redu hatisida kuti riwane IP address statically. You want it to run IP address dynamically. Voila. 192.168.211. 10 yato rodara. This AP inova 111. So my devices ese are more management, scope management. We've configured to put on my IP addresses from the wireless LAN controller. So that's the first thing that I've done here. Then tiripa my DHCP scope. My devices are my wireless LAN. My devices are connected to the wireless LAN. Actually, one of my IP addresses are from the router. So we need to create a scope per router edu so that my devices edu can get their IP addresses from there. So my configurations at DHCP, let me see. DHCP version 4. Let's see scope here. Let me say. So I'll start with excluded IP addresses. There's a pool name, the network, default router. That's it. So I'll start with in my router IP address excluded, IP DHCP excluded IP addresses. All right. Addresses until exclude is .5.1 obviously because you know it default gateway. Right? Pane imwe exclude up. I don't think so. Let me exclude .5.25.5.254 IP address and share apa interface. I think those are the IP address and share exclude only. I'll explain the second one and exclude there. IP TCP pool, and there we have this exactly in 10 o'clock. IP TCP pool, our pool name, let's call our pool name wireless LAN 5. Wireless LAN 5, enter. Then our network, network ID 192.168.5.0 with my mask. Right, so you see, pool and panel. I'm creating a pool rene 192.168.5. Why? Because ndo wireless LAN ratiri create error rinenge riri kubelonga to that network 192.168.5 muVLAN 5 musubinterface.5. right? Tika create rimwe wireless LAN rine .10, it means we need to create another pool as well rinenge rine maIP addresses ari kubva munetwork 192.168.10.0. So for this one, this is our pool. Then default router, we need kuti madevices edu azive kuti default router ichii. So it's .5.1. Right, just a minute. Okay, so default router redu rapo, and I think basically that's it. Pool redu rapo, pool redu pa router rapo. Let me go back to wireless LAN. Okay, let me go back here. Pool redu rapo, what else? Now, takuchipinda controller again, so that to create my interfaces edu, mapool edu ese apo. Chasara ku create my interfaces, then to create my wireless LANs, to associate my wireless LANs edu to our interfaces or to our VLANs. Then that's it. So starting from scratch, you can see panapa you have also learned the importance of zero configurations of DHCP to create a pool. HTTPS back to 168.100.254. Right. In 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is takwenda straight kuma interfaces edu, then to create my wireless lines. My interface edu, we're going to create them anenge ari pacontroller panapa. Right, controller is a bit slow. Right, to end up on my interfaces right here. Open my interfaces. I think Dopandiri. No, Apasiripo. Let me see my interfaces. Right, and do my interfaces. So you can see panel management interface and to create Udara by default. Right, it's an IP address, which is the IP address of the controller edu. Then that will create an interface new one. I'm going to create a new interface. Yachati do wireless LAN 5. Interface here, I'm going to call it wireless LAN 5. VLAN ID 5. I'm going to associate it with VLAN number 5. So just be consistent in the numbers. Why? So that let's say administrator mumwe auya anotoziva kuti anything chaari kuona china 555 all over the place, it means it's probably a wireless LAN it associated to VLAN number 5. You can use different numbers. Chero number yaunoda oti wireless LAN 5 apo oi associate ne VLAN 20, but it's very confusing. Zvinogona kuconfuse iwewe muridzi futi we-network. Right, let's make my configurations. A port number, we're going to use port number 1 because our controller really connected to Giga Ethernet port number 1. I think this one is not an important configuration as much. VLAN identifier repo. Then the IP address of our interface 192.168.5.254. Interface rinofanira kupiwa IP address. IP address iyo ndo yataexcluda pama IP addresses pakati create a pool parouter redu. The mask 255.250, our default gateway 192.168.5.1. Right, primary DHCP server. Right, panapo pari very important. Primary DHCP server redu is 192.168.5.1. Router redu riya rata create a pool ndo richaassigna ma IP addresses kuinterface iyi yata create. Interface yata create iyi we are going to associate it with the wireless LAN that you create after. So wireless LAN iroro linked to this interface, we should be getting its IP addresses from the primary DHCP server, which is the IP address of the sub interface router. Very important. Right. So I think those are guys. The page open up. After we are done, we apply, changing the parameters to temporarily disable what. Okay. Loss of connectivity. Right. I think we're done with interface redo. Right. I start rapid. Right. I'm going rapid. Let me go back to my interfaces. Right. Your interface redo wireless LAN 5, VLAN identifier 5, IP address repo. Interface type is dynamic. AP management at Nakuisa AP management. I think we're done with this one. So after done with interface redo, let's configure security yedu. Security yedu, it will be linked to nyaya radius server rataisa. Right. So radius server will help panyaya AAA. Authentication, authorization, and accounting. Authentication, authorization at times inoitwa locally. Zvinoti probably router rako ndo rinoconfirm authentication, rinokuudza kuti tipe password, what is your username. That is local authentication. Yatakaita pa SSH for example, that is local authentication. You create a username, name, password, and what. But kana uruda security is more than a local. You need a server, a runs a radius server. So tine type of security offer runs a radius server. Ndo iri panapa. So pa security panapa, we're going to create a new radius authentication server so that we add server redo rata creator. Unofanira kuudza controller rako kuti radius server raurifanira kushandisa riri papi. And how you do that, unoipa IP address. IP address yeserver yedu 172.31.1 should be 254. Then the shared secret 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Shared secret done. Very important chiri panapa ndechekuti controller rinofanira kuudzwa kunzi IP address yauchashandisa yeradius server iri kupi. Ndo zvataita apa. We apply. There is also, I think in theory, nyaya SNMP. Inofanira kuudzwa izvo kunzi server rinoshanda se management, se NMS management server for SNMP ichi monitoring. Tataura kuti controller redu rinoshanda nyaya dzeauthentication ndori responsible for that via the radio server. Rinoshanda izvo nyaya dzemonitoring, inomonita kuti ma-access points ese arushanda here, ma-devices aconnected pa-access point rakati mangani. It manages everything. So panyaya yemonitoring papo, there's a protocol SNMP, I'm sure makambopfuura nepo. Controller rinofana kuzwa kuti server riri kushandiswa se-SNMP server nderipi. I think zviri pa-management panapa. I'm not going to go through that. Let me see, but it should be there. Management, right, SNMP, panapa. Oedera trap receiver, oisa IP address trap receiver yako. Right. Security taisa. Let's now go for wireless punishing. Let's now go and create my wireless LANs edu. Let's now go create my wireless LANs edu. No, panapa speed up. Tend up on my wireless LANs. Let me see. All right. My wireless LANs are to data. We can see pan wireless LAN in its management. The wireless LAN yata create patanga tishi ita my initial initial setup ye controller redo. Do pata create a management here, which we are not going to be using. I think we can remove this, no problem. Are you sure? Yes. I hope as it kanga says Rwanda. Is it removed? Not yet. Right, gone. Right. We then create a new one. We're going to create a new wireless LAN. But no create a wireless LAN here, but no IPAM profile name, let's just say students. Right, profile name, Tinema Wi-Fi, EMA students. I'll give an example here by use it, but Tinema Wi-Fi, EMA students. Use it of students, use it of probably use it of students one, use it of students networking, use it of students telecommunications, but the profile name it to be students. Then create wireless LANs akawanda ESA which falls under students. There's probably another profile here staff yeku networking, use it of staff yeku computer science, wireless LANs are created. So this profile we are to create the students, so it's the network for the students, and our SSID, let's just call it wireless LAN 5. Our ID will be 5 panel, associating with an ID. The ID it will be 5 so that I be consistent. Ndikatanga nekuti VLAN 5. Ndichati interface yandicha create ndoipa direct 5. Ndo associate wireless LAN yangu ne ID 5. Iyo ndoipa ID 5 as well. Be consistent with that. So that when the troubleshooting, it becomes very easy to identify the creature yauri dealer nayo. That's the reason why tinoshandisa ma5555 for wireless LAN 5. Ndaikwanisa kushandisa manumbers akasiyana, I repeat. Ndaikwanisa kushandisa manumbers akasiyana network ichitofunctiona. But basa rinozobuda paunoenda troubleshooting, wireless LAN yakanyorwa wireless LAN 10 iri identified, iri associated neVLAN 20. Then uchaziva kuti odhila nezvipi from that point. Right. So to create a wireless LAN redu, the status, it needs to be enabled. Can I disable the ishande? Then per interface group panapa, we need to link our wireless LAN with the interface router create a wireless LAN 5. That is as well associating it with the VLAN number 5. All right, panapa tapedza, and the security yedu, we're going to use layer 2 security in the WPA2, encryption and authentication. Right, WPA2 policy in the Shandisa, we're going to use AES encryption. Then for authentication, we're going to use PSK. If theory says you will, you see that for authentication, you learned about 2 ways that you can authenticate. PSK ndiyo ine appreciate key, ndiyo yaunenge une password yaunoconfigure, then mopa vanhu password. Vanhu vanoda connected to the network, they use that password. Then we have 801 802.1x, ndiyo inoshandisa radius server. So instead of using a password inocreatwa appreciate yoitwa appreciate, tinenge tiri kucreata mausernames nemaprofiles atinocreata anonge achizonoitwa authentication via the radius server. I think that's another lecture on its own. So for this one, the one is simple, PSK, then the password yatichashandisa 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Exactly, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I think we're done here. Layer 3 security atisati nayo, then triple A servers panapa dai tirashandisa 802.1x. Ndo paizopinda server redu iro. You need to tell controller redu kuti kana wakudaita authentication via a server, the IP address rauchashandisa the iro 172.31.1.254. I think panapa we are done. Then hatina maconfigurations eQoS ataita. QoS ichaitwa kumberi. Policy mapping hatina kuita. Then advanced, we need to enable Flexi Connect. I think that's it. After that, we apply wireless LAN redo for a creator. Wireless LAN redo created. You can see panapa pane zvinhu zviri grayed out. My configurations are grayed out. On a device, it's still a simulation redo packet tracer. Probably those areas won't be grayed out, and you need to know. But at this level, obviously it's grayed out because probably there is no need for now. Kuti tiite zvese izvozvo. Right, I think wireless LAN redo rakreatwa. Let me just go back and confirm. Wireless LAN redo 5 rakreatwa here. Is it enabled as well? Right, wireless LAN 5 redo rapo. The SSID is wireless LAN 5. My security policies edu aripo. Everything proper. So we've created wireless LAN redo zvese zvapo. Chasara now is connecting our devices. So ndikapa laptop yedu 5 minutes. I think I can get that done. Ndikapa laptop yangu, one of the things you see, kana usina module rakanzi WPC 300N, you won't be able to connect wirelessly. So you need to add WPC 300N module pa laptop yako. After that, then we can go to the desktop, tenda pa PC wireless. Pa PC wireless, ndo connected to the Wi-Fi. If I go to connect, right there, I can see wireless LAN 5 yangu iripo. I can connect. My password was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. All right, connected. Voila. They have connected to wireless LAN 5. So let's go see good IP address. Your IP address is here. .5 iyo .5.2. Puri ratacreata parauta redu ndokwakubva my IP address ari kuenda pama devices ari connectwa via wireless LAN. Can we have another PC just to be sure? Let me add another laptop to connect as well. But I think basically that's it with respect to wireless LAN configurations. Okay, I cannot do this here on. I need this to be off. Let me remove this. This is a WPC. Without practice, there is no way you will know kuti module rinoshanda kana ndiri connecta wirelessly ichi. Zvangofanana nekuti sometimes unoona laptop yako haisi connected to the internet. Your devices, there are drivers which are missing. is the same thing ichiripo panapa. Kana usina moji iro, you cannot connect to wirelessly. You cannot connect to a wireless LAN. Without you practicing, there is no way you will know this is. So you need to practice. Let's see if my password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's connect another PC, another laptop. Voila. So my laptop's AD, you can see are connected to the access point. Let me see IP address as well. It should be 5.3, I think. Can I write this in order? Desktop. Okay, .4. 5.4. So my IP address are over pa pura ta create pa root up. So as my devices AR2, they are connected to wireless LAN 5. It is associated to VLAN 5. Ndikacreate imwe wireless LAN panapa ndoassociate VLAN 10. It will mean my PCs anenge ari kunoko anoconnected to wireless LAN 10 anenge ari associated VLAN 10. So ndine traffic iri kuenda via this access point, imwe iri VLAN 10, imwe iri VLAN 5. That's why taisa ichitrunk. Maadvantages ekudaro, it means VLAN 5 ndogona kuti traffic yema-students, VLAN 10 ndogona kuti traffic ye-staff. And that's how we create my wireless LANs using the wireless LAN controller. Kana uri kushandisa access point iri yega, it's much easier. For this exercise, I chose to use the controller for the reasons there are a lot of things that are discussed apart from VLANs, inter-VLAN, DHCP, then my configurations about wireless LAN controller itself. And with that, I think we are done. Maybe one last thing. Let me try to ping. Let's ping save. I don't know, go there. VLAN. Let's ping. No, let me start ping 192.168.200.254. Less than 1 minute. And getting ping controller. Can we get it? Number 1, no. Number 2, no. Number 3 and 4, bo. Yeah, I think that's evidence enough. Everything is okay. Thank you very much for your attention. I think we are done.